something.
So today in Developing World, we watched a video called Making Crooked Paths Straight. And it was about this man who had moved to Ethiopia and who is a doctor and had basically started bringing children into his family and helping them gain the necessary medical and surgeries assistance that they needed. And the beginning of the video, it talked about how the majority of the people on the earth, and especially in Ethiopia, live underneath the poverty line, and how this really affects their medical needs. In Ethiopia, many people live in the rural areas, and so they don't have a good access to medications and surgeries, which often affects them and the progress of their diseases. It showed many children who came to these clinics and came to the doctors and had a lot of whose diseases had progressed a lot, and eventually they were able to be treated, but if they could be treated earlier, it could really help them as well.
I thought it was interesting how medicine in the United States was like $25 when medicine in Ethiopia was just $1. So he could, with like the lower cost, he could help more people, and he helped people with blindness and also with like the surgeries that you mentioned.
I thought it was awesome that he didn't just give away his whole life to come here and help the kids. He helped them in more ways than just like medical. Like he adopted 18 kids into his home and paid for all their medical needs, paid for their surgeries, and he even referred to them as his kids, which I thought was super cute because the way that he interacted with them, he talked about how he who saves one person saves the world, and so by changing these 18 kids' lives, he's helping change the world by giving them a future.
Yeah, what came to my mind is living and loving like Christ did. So when I was thinking about all the things that he has done, like giving children a home and providing medicine and food and shelter to all these needy orphan children, the first thing that came to mind was that's exactly what Christ did. You know, he went after the people that he needed help. He focused more on others than he did himself. And I love something that he said. He said, saving the lives of people, that he saves lives of people. He saves the life of people who other people might not care about. And I think that's such a cool statement, just because he's taking the time. You know, he's giving all of himself. He doesn't have privacy. He doesn't have his own home. I mean, he's given literally all of himself in every way possible to take care of these children. And another thing I found really cool is that he said that a little money goes a long ways, and so we don't need a ton of money to do great things in the world. That we can just do simple things, and by our simple actions, if they're sincere and through love, they mean a huge amount to other people. And so I really, really liked that. Another thing is that he said that that was the best place in the whole world. And you look at the video of it and the people and the surroundings, and it's not a good circumstance, it's not a good situation, but he thought it was absolutely best because the experience he was having there and the service he was giving, that it was able to touch his heart enough to see the beauty in things that we might not see beautiful. So I really like that. And another quick thing he said, the Almighty has given him an opportunity to help, so don't say no. And so he was really able to act upon the opportunities that he saw possible.
Yeah, and I also like that too. And it kind of goes back to with like the U.S. like it's $25, in Ethiopia it's like $1. And so what he shared a story with a guy, like a 16-year-old Canadian guy who came to that region, and he was like, hey, let's raise some money. And so they raised like what, $5,000, and just with that, like they built a school, you know, and $5,000 here, like you could get the framework up, but I don't know. I just thought it was really, really cool that he, first of all, he was like 16, so that's awesome that he was like proactive and decided to like help people.
Going along with that, he said in the video that you can't help anyone, you can't help these kids if you don't give them an education, because that's how they're going to start to provide for themselves and gain the knowledge that they need to go out and basically have like the tree effect of that now those kids can go out and change other people's lives, and then it just kind of ricochets.
Yeah.
Because he was willing to make a difference.
So to sum up our response, I think we all concluded that from this video we learned that it doesn't take a ton to help these people who are struggling in these situations. We just have to be willing to give up some of the things that we give up our time and our money and just a little bit of it to help a lot of these people in these situations.
Yeah, and also that last question that he was talking about, would I be willing to give up my job and my life here, like what he did? I'm like, I don't know. Like, I mean, that'd be a cool like adventure for a little bit, but like to actually stay there and, if need be, to adopt these kids, you know, I don't know, because like with that, I don't know.
So,
Like you have to think about it in the eternal perspective that, like that is like Christ. And, I don't know. That's so amazing. So, like, hopefully, I don't know.
there is several stories about how basically no one cared about them